Get ready to go on a jittery joyride with You Batty. Did you make your Halloween flags from our last video? Not only can we wave flags on our joyride, but we can shake noisemakers too. First, we'll need some supplies. So let's go over to Route 35. We'll stop at Party Fair first and then Superfood Town. Here are some things you might need depending on how you want to decorate your noisemakers. Markers, glitter foam stickers, sticky gems, pom-poms and wiggly eyes, ribbon, wrapping paper. I'm getting some dry rice, sandwich bags or snack bags. They don't need to be large. I'm getting some dried split peas, but you can get any kind of dried bean or lentil. Here's the full list of supplies. You can pause the video here to write them down or go to driveyoubatty.com. Hopefully, you saw our social media posts reminding you to start saving the cardboard rolls from your paper towels and toilet paper. This is where we start. You can use a paper towel roll by itself, or you can combine 2 toilet paper rolls. You just sort of pinch one end like this and put it in there. And then you could put some tape around here to keep it together. Press in one end of the roll like this. Tape it shut with a good strong tape, like masking tape or duct tape. Take a sandwich bag and cut it in half like this. Discard the open end, take the bottom portion of the bag, open it up, and place the taped end of your roll inside. Next, use your invisible tape to tape the bag onto the roll on both sides. Make sure you pull it down nice and tight. Now take one of your side flaps and pull it nice and tight around the back of the roll and then tape it down. And do the same thing for the other side. Now we're going to tape right along the bottom of the bag, right where it meets the roll, all the way around. Make sure the tape completely overlaps that edge of the bag. The reason for the plastic bag is because we don't want the noise-making ingredients that we add to the tube to leak out and fly all over your grown-up's car. Now it's time to decide on your noise-making ingredient. Dried peas, beans, or lentils make a sound like chattering skeleton teeth. Rice makes a sound like a slithering snake. You can also use beads, bells, or combinations. Next, take the open end of your roll and pour in your noise-making ingredient. Now you only need a little bit because you need plenty of room in there for things to move around and make noise. Now repeat the steps you took with the first end of the roll on the other end. Now you're going to cover your roll with wrapping paper, any kind you like. You can also use fabric if you prefer. Fabric and wrapping paper have their pros and cons, and we'll talk about those. Now we need to know how much wrapping paper we need. So measure around the roll like this, and it's approximately 5.5 inches. Then we're going to add 2 inches to that. So what we need is 7.5 inches. Then measure the length of the roll and add about 6 inches. So in this case, you would need 16 inches. So cut your paper the right size and then make sure it's right in the center of the long measurement. And then we're going to put a piece of tape right here. Then turn the paper around and fold up the other edge by about 1/2 inch and just press it down nice and firmly so you have a nice sharp crisp edge here. So turn the paper around again so that the roll is closest to you, and keeping the paper as tight to the roll as possible, just start rolling it around. Roll the paper around the tube like this. And then when you get here to your sharp edge, we're going to tape it in a couple of places just to keep it in place. Now, if you're using fabric, you won't be able to tape that down, so you'll have to put some glue right under this edge here and wait for it to dry before you move ahead. Now take 2 rubber bands and cut each one once, just like that. Okay, so you can feel right where the roll ends, right? So we want to tie this rubber band about 1 inch above there. Now you have to do this very gently because the one disadvantage of using paper is that it can tear. I find it a little bit helpful to just take the end like this and just gently sort of fold it in like this before I put my rubber band underneath. So remember, we're just about 1 inch from where the roll ends. And we're going to tie maybe 2 or 3 knots into this rubber band. Don't pull it too tight. It doesn't have to be tight. And if you want to, you can cut off some of this excess, but not all of it. Now, if you do get a little tear here or there, it's okay. You can cover it with tape or maybe with a decoration. But remember, the idea isn't to be perfect. The idea is just to make some noise. And now you can hide that rubber band with a piece of ribbon, like this. Again, doesn't have to be tight. You can also hide it by gluing some pom-poms over it. Now reach in carefully to the end that we folded, and just very gently open it up, kind of like a flower, and poof it out. Now take all the same steps with the other end of the Noisemaker. Now you can decorate it any way you like. One quick side note about pom-poms. If you're using pom-poms made from yarn, ordinary white school glue might do the trick. But I used these fun foam pom-poms, and for these you'll need a strong repair glue like super glue. And now for the final step. Shake! Now can you wave with one hand and shake with the other hand at the same time? The Jittery Joyride could be even more fun if you make plans with your friends to follow the monster map together. It's a great way to create shared memories while still staying socially distant in your vehicles. And now, one final note for grown-ups. I know, the idea of noisemakers in the car is enough to drive you batty. Maybe you could hang in there with the noisemakers for just one night.